Alright, here's the assignment. It was page 69 to 70, number 1 ABC, 2 ABC, 3 ABC, 4 ABC, 7, 12, and 13. 12 and 13 were optional for those who wanted a little extra challenge. Alright, number 1, it said to use tiles to subtract. Draw pictures of the tiles you use. So you needed to draw the tile pictures. So here's A and B. We'll do A first, and then we'll do B, and then C. So the first step was to draw those 7. You did not have to color them if you didn't want to, so you could just put a box around it and then put a plus sign on it. So I drew my positive 7, and then I'm going to subtract 4 positives. So if I'm going to get rid of 4 positives, all I need to do is pick 4 of them, draw a box around it, and an arrow saying that I'm getting rid of it. And how many do I have left? The answer would be positive 3, because there's 1, 2, 3. There is another way you could have drawn it. So I wrote it down here. Remember, if you subtract a positive number, that's the same thing as adding a negative number. Okay? So I'm going to just draw this in here, and we're going to do it this way. So I've drawn it here. I've got 7 positives, and then I have 4 negatives, and if I put it together, remember, these make a 0, these make a 0, these make a 0, these make a 0, and how many am I left over with? 1, 2, 3. It's still positive 3. So either of these would work. You get 1 mark for the picture, and you get 1 mark for the answer. Okay? Because it said to draw the tiles. It said draw, so you needed to. Okay, moving on to question B. It said -2, so I drew -2, and we're going to subtract -2. So we're going to get rid of the -2. We're going to move them away. How many do we have left over? 0. So the answer is 0. Another way we could have looked at this is -2 subtract a -2. Remember, this looks kind of like a plus, so it's the same thing as -2 plus 2. Put them together, -2 plus 2, that just equals 0. So the answer is 0, that's 1 mark. And then some sort of drawing works. You could have drawn 2 negatives and then drawn 2 positives, and that would cancel out. I'll draw that now. Something like this would work as well. So that's out of 2 marks as well. So out of 2, out of 2. Question C was -9, so I drew -9. Subtract -6, we're going to get rid of or take away -6, 6 negatives. So find 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to get rid of those. And we're left with how many? 3. That's the same thing as -9, subtract. Remember, this looks like a plus, so it's -9 plus 6 is -3. Oh, I wrote positive 3 up here. The answer is -3. My mistake. It's -3. It's -3 because these are negatives. So 1 for the picture and 1 for the answer. It's all out of, for question 1, all of question 1 is out of 6. Okay, question 2 says to use tiles to subtract. It doesn't say that you have to draw them. I'm going to draw them, but all that matters for these questions in question 2 and question 3 is that you get the correct answer. So it'll just be 1 mark each, but I'm going to draw the picture. So the first one is -1 plus -4. So -1 subtract -4. If we need to get rid of -4, but we only have -1, this doesn't really work unless we add in a bunch of things till we have -4 that equals 0, but overall would look like -1. So we added in a 0, a 0, a 0. It's still -1 overall, but now we're going to subtract -4 from it, so we're going to get rid of these 4 negatives. And what are we left with? We're left with 3 positives, so the answer is positive 3. So 1 mark for that. Alright, I have positive 8, and I'm going to subtract positive 3. This one's pretty easy. You just take positive 3, subtract it, and you're left with positive 5. So the answer is positive 5. 1 mark for that. Okay, the next question is -4 subtract -11. I need to add on some more of these negatives, but adding on a positive each one I add till I get to 11. So I added these pairs until I had 11 negatives total, because that's how many I need to take away. So I'm going to take those 11, I'm going to take them away, and I'm going to find that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is my answer. So my answer is +7. So that's your mark. It's out of 1. Question 2 is out of 3.